Welcome to another video. I'm back here with Bruce, and really we've gone over his car collection before, but I thought I'd come and have another very sort of informal chat and just really talk about how Bruce came to be interested in cars going back a few years.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, growing up with the fact that we had big American cars was the starting point. And so there was always that aspect of, living and being driven in these rather large cars. So that was something which didn't daunt me when we were coming to buy bigger vehicles or cars with big V8 motors. And my first journey with owning cars was with two Rover V8s. One which is the P6B, the first car I ever bought with my own money.
That's one that we've got.
And still here.
It up, so we'll have a look at that later.
And it's sitting in the garage, a bit unloved at the moment. So we could look at recommissioning that vehicle at some stage.
Yeah.
It's quite a special car because it was fully restored when I bought it, and it was quite an expensive car for me to buy.
Yeah.
And about a year after buying that particular car, I bought the P5B Rover Coupé. Again, quite a rare car because the Coupé has a low roof line in comparison to the saloon, but is still a four-door car, which kind of leads on to the fact that my latest acquisition is also called a four-door coupe. Which comes from the BMW heritage, but really the Rover Coupe is the granddaddy, because that's where it all started.
Yeah.
And I suppose those two cars, which I've still got, while they haven't been on the road for a while, they're in fairly good condition because no rust, which is always a bit of an issue when you're dealing with classic cars.
Yeah.
If you've got to deal to rebuilding the bodies, in these two cars, the running gear probably and the engine would be the required restoration.
Yeah.
But that, in general, with the Rover V8, is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and that's a much easier thing to tackle than bodywork and rust removal and
especially on the likes of the Rover Coupe. They tend to rust in the most difficult places you could find on a vehicle.
Yeah.
And in that double skin, if it's deteriorated too badly, it almost becomes a write-off.
Yeah.
But there'd be very few of the Rover P5B Coupés left in New Zealand. A lot of them have been sold at quite high prices, $60,000 or $70,000, but they head offshore because people from overseas recognise the fact that the cars here in New Zealand are not as corroded,
relatively
or have virtually no corrosion whatsoever in comparison to a lot of other countries. So people are buying them here at what is probably quite a reasonable price compared to restoration of an existing vehicle that's rusty.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we don't use salt on our roads.
No. The upshot of that, of course, is that New Zealand has quite a lot of very classic cars in very good condition. So we're a bit of a microcosm of those classic cars. And often people, in the case of the Jensen Interceptor behind us, people have bought the car with them when they've come to live in New Zealand. So they've loved the car somewhere else to the point where they brought it with them to New Zealand, which is why the cars end up here.
So good for us. And then hopefully, like you're saying, when people sell cars that they love, that they've had to sort of part with for whatever reason, keeping an eye on it to see if it stays in New Zealand, which is always nice to know.
Yeah.
What happens, you know.
There's been 2 weeks ago a Jensen sold in the South Island, and it's staying in New Zealand, thank goodness.
Yeah, cool.
And the new owner's obviously fairly committed to it, because I think he's paid $200,000 for that car, which is getting up there.
Yeah, it is.
But there's only 30 of the Mark III Jensen Interceptors in New Zealand, so it's a very small market of cars available.
He knows it'll be a good investment, irrespective of what he's paid.
Especially if the car is of a condition, and you can just get in and drive it.
Yeah, yeah. So going back to your childhood, I guess, and you've mentioned quite a few times of your mother's Jean, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jean, yeah, your mother's love.
Well, I guess...
And the irony, you know, with her
yes.
story.
Her background is that she was one of 8 children,
right,
living in Te Kauwhata, and so being a girl meant that the boys got the first option at driving the car which they had, which was the very first car in the district. And so Mum never had that opportunity as a young person to learn to drive. And then when Mum married Dad, and we always had big American cars, she just didn't get the confidence to learn to drive those. And so consequently never ever got a license to drive, which doesn't mean to say that she didn't love cars, and instilled in me, and even in Jools and Linda, a love of motor vehicles. She had a way of making it exciting when we did get a new car, because she'd say at the beginning of the week we were going to town on Friday and it'd be a surprise, and you would have to guess what the surprise is. And we'd go through the whole gambit of things, and we'd even say, oh, it's a new car. And she says, no, it's not a new car. And then, of course, on the Friday, you'd drive into Hamilton to Schofield's to pick up the new car.
Yeah.
So she created that, sense of magic and a bit of...
something special.
Yeah, making it something which was exciting, you know. Yeah. And even for me, probably the fact that you're buying vehicles, it's exciting the chase of finding a vehicle and then, eventually negotiating on it and buying it. And
if you know it's something a bit special, then to chase.
Like a lot of people who buy cars, sometimes you've got to be careful about buying your hero cars because they can be disappointing.
Yeah.
And I have bought a couple of cars which are in that ilk, but you move those on because they don't excite you enough to drive them all the time. Yeah,
it is just an object that you can part with at the end of the day, isn't it? If you're not,
if it's not giving you a bit of a fizz, when you're driving it, because oftentimes the car can look fabulous and it has all the right credential. But doesn't have that X factor.
Yeah, and there's different. It's like I said the other day, it'd be a boring world if we all like the same things. So there'll be somebody that absolutely owns that car one day and absolutely loves it. So
I guess our collection, because it's pretty eclectic in lots of ways, shows that we find the magic in all those different elements of the cars.
Yeah, you've got a bit of diversity in what you own. So how many cars do you have?
Well, there's 3 missing from here. Yeah. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 so far that I can count that we know about.
More than 2 hands worth, hands and a foot.
Yes. The MG behind us here on this side, I guess that's sort of a typical aspect of why we are sort of eclectic in our collection, although it does have a big Rover V8 under the bonnet. So there is the Rover connection.
Yeah.
And the Jensen, of course, having grown up with big American cars, has the Chrysler 440, which is 7.2 litre, quite a large motor.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when it came time to get the Rolls-Royce, there was no sort of hesitation in terms of the fact that it's got a great big 7-litre V8 under the bonnet. No issues there in terms of being able to use it and drive it, even though it's such a big car, because used to driving big cars as a child. One of my favourite cars when we were growing up was a Plymouth Belvedere that we had in 1963. And that was a Canadian-sourced car which came to New Zealand and then built up from a knockdown of parts by Todd Motors. And they're quite rare now too. I do see quite a few of those cars because they've survived. They've been incredibly well built to start with, and don't tend to rust for some reason. You know, just really thick steel on those bodies. Quite noticeable that the quality of those cars when they were built was there. Hence, us having the car for, I think, 16 years when we lived on the farm in Huntly. And I remember going back to a college reunion and people coming up and mentioning the Plymouth Belvedere, saying, oh, we loved that car, you know. And of course, we took it for granted as kids, because if you have something, you see something else that other people or neighbours have got, and you covet their vehicle.
Of course,
but oftentimes the neighbours, they'd have a new Ford or a new Holden, and within 12 months they were having to replace that vehicle because it just didn't last on the metal roads. But the good old Plymouth,
just keep going.
16 years later, and I remember Dad buying that car for about, it was about $2,000, which seems a bit silly now, and then 16 years later, he sold it to the person that bought it for $2,000. And I believe the car still exists. I don't know where it is. Be interesting to find that out. But I have seen several of those vehicles, even just of late. They come out of the woodwork every now and again. So interesting to see those particular cars on the road. And it's also interesting to see other versions of what you've got sometimes. I've got a Jaguar F-Type, which is not here at the moment. It's broken, and it's having its diff seals redone. But I drove to Auckland the other day, and on the Morrinsville Piarco Road, I could see another car coming towards me, and I thought, oh, is that a Maserati? And then as it got closer, I thought, it's an F-Type, you know, which you never see, because again, we think there's only about 100 on the road in New Zealand. So gave a good wave to the driver.
Was that silver?
It was dark grey.
I might know the guy. There's a guy
locally.
Hamilton, Richard.
Right.
His name is nice guy in the Euro Car Club.
It was an older person driving the car, snowy headed, I thought. So
maybe not.
It's but it's you know, when you see another car on the road that you own, even if it's another version of, it's quite exciting to see it.
And you do definitely notice other cars that are the same as yours, especially if it's a bit special. And the BMW car club community, and even car owners, not necessarily belonging to the club, they oftentimes, you know, acknowledge you on the road because you're driving something a bit different. And I came back from the farm in Helensville a couple of weeks ago, and there was an E46 AC Schnitzer Coupé in Dakar yellow on the motorway, which was a really unusual car to see. It's so rare even worldwide. And Yeah, so if you're watching this,
yeah,
that car, leave a comment below.
It was good to see that vehicle, and the person driving that car, which was sort of parallel with me on the motorway, was looking at my M6 thinking, what's that? Because you don't see those very often. And I was looking at his lacquer yellow AC Schnitzer Coupé thinking, wow, and it was pristine, absolutely pristine condition. Yeah. So we both gave the thumbs up as we parted ways on the motorway.
Yeah, never know, because it's the, what is it, the 50th anniversary of the 3 Series, BMW
yes,
3 Series.
just coming. They're starting to do a number of celebrations of 50 years for the 3 Series.
Yep.
And the very first BMW I bought, on my own, we've had other BMWs together, Richard and I, but my first purchase was the 330 CI, which is the Cabriolet E46. And so I'm going to utilise that car for the celebration coming up at the end of the month.
So you are taking that up?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see the other 3 Series cars, which, because again in New Zealand, they're a popular version of the BMW.
Yeah.
And especially the early E30s, those cars are just so popular.
They are, yeah. My parents owned a couple of those back in the day, and we knew that they were nice little cars, and they had always been, they still sort of are, but not to the same degree, but they always bought and sold nice cars, a couple of those, and I've sort of sent links to my stepdad of E30s that are coming up on the market these days, and especially the 6-cylinder ones and the prices that they're fetching, and I think they're worth more now than perhaps what they were back then.
I mean, I couldn't afford to buy especially an M3 version. They're a couple of $100,000 easy these days if they're in good nick.
Yeah.
Again, rare in New Zealand, rare worldwide. They just didn't do a huge number of them. And the ones that exist in perhaps original ownership, have been much loved cars, so they're in fantastic condition.
Yeah.
There's a couple in the BMW Car Club that members cherish. And I know one particular car, it doesn't matter what journey it does, after that journey, the car is, cleaned again to within an inch of its life. The wheels come off, the insides get cleaned. Just incredible detail, attention on keeping the car pristine. And they're brilliant to drive, so great to look at. Dynamic to drive, and something which people are getting a lot out of, in terms of having a classic car. Yeah,
and that's it, is that you can't compare those older models to what they're producing now, because the performance and everything is just exponentially better with modern cars, but that's not why you get classic cars, you get them for the nostalgia and a little bit of performance, but not comparing them to modern, because
the thing that really is probably something which is kind of scary in a way is that all of our modern cars that we own will have long gone, and the one car that will still exist is that Rolls-Royce in the corner, because it's just so low tech in lots of ways.
For sure.
But it's a big, strong car. And Rolls-Royce has that reputation where I think 60% of the vehicles they've ever produced are still on the road. So that the odds are that all your high-tech, new-fangled cars and a lot of electrics will be long gone. Burnt in a fiery hell.
And like you've pointed out with Rolls-Royce, they don't want to see their cars broken down on the side of the road. So if they have to triple something unnecessarily, they will, if they have to put triple belts in or whatever.
Over-engineered to the point where, there is probably a lot of aspects of the vehicle which add to weight. But the Rolls-Royce at that time, when they were building the Silver Spirit, you know, their major concern was that you had a luxury vehicle, and that it was completely reliable.
Yeah, yeah.
And I suppose that's down to the fact that you have got redundancy on it. You have doubles up on the drive belt, so if one breaks, you're still running. The differential on the rear of the Rolls-Royce always fascinates people, especially the mechanics, where we take the vehicle, they've got it up on the hoist and they're looking at it and thinking, my God, look at the engineering on that, you know, because they can just see how beautifully cast the differential is, how beautifully it's, you know, put together. Whereas a lot of cars today, mass manufacturing, there's no aesthetic to those engineering components.
Yeah, well, I mean, going back in time, engineering was celebrated.
Yeah.
You know, you look at old buildings that nowadays are looked on as purely utilitarian.
Yeah.
Back then, say 100 years ago, it was a celebration. It was things were beautifully architecturally designed, even though they didn't need to be. And the automotive world was the same. It was, the engineering was celebrated, and decoration was included where it didn't even really need to be. You know? So,
well, it's a bit like the chair we're sitting on. You know, it's a bit of a vintage style. It's probably not a true vintage piece of design. But you appreciate the fact that somebody's gone to the point where they've built a wooden frame and they've spent some time carving the back. You know,
it's got some aesthetic.
It's got something special.
It's not just something to sit on.
So
I think
not a mass-produced thing.
So I think vehicles that have a little bit of that appeal now are top shelf. You know, whereas once upon a time, all vehicles had design appeal, where it just doesn't seem to be too much of a factor
The big
anymore.
thing I've noticed with some of the vehicles is that there's been a massive amount of design go into it in terms of you know, getting on a computer and creating a design which is efficient and lightweight and all those things. But where's the magic? You know, it's got to have an X factor. And oftentimes that only comes about if there's still been some deep engineering involved in terms of putting a car together.
Definitely, engineers aren't necessarily about aesthetics.
No.
You know, they've got their job to do. But that can't be where it begins and ends.
But if you can put it all together in terms of a package, it's neat to drive, you know, has a dynamic which, you know, you can enjoy every day. That's a real bonus. Some cars are harder to drive than others. The Jensen's very glamorous to drive, you'd have to say, because when you're in it, it's this really rakish feel when you're sitting inside it. And that huge wraparound glass hatch on the vehicle, it just adds to the whole glamour of the feel and look of the vehicle. So each vehicle has its own characteristic. The MG couldn't be more different in terms of you've only got a tiny wee cockpit and this tiny wee windscreen, but it has a charm to it, you know, which is coming about, I think, basically because it's got a great big 4-litre V8 in it, in a tiny roadster body.
And I think that's another big difference with going back with classic cars compared to now is design is pretty flat right through all the different manufacturers and models. They even cross over. You might get say a Porsche Taycan with an Audi e-tron. I think I've got that right. And basically they're both built on the same platform. There's just this...
It's down to the fact that
deadline, you know,
a lot of manufacturers are struggling because to make the vehicle profitable, you have to rationalise the development and the material that has to go into it.
There's not a lot of them that are just starting from scratch and saying this is our design from the ground up. There's not a lot of that kind of happening these days. Whereas when you look at the uniqueness of what you've got, even if you're, I know there's a time difference which changes the design of vehicles, obviously, but different manufacturers had different ways of looking at things and different ways of designing things, you know, so they were completely unique to themselves.
Well, the vehicle that really shows that detail of what's gone on in design is my Jaguar F-Type, because they were at the, you know, epitome of design in terms of the F-Type, having that sleek body made of composite materials with titanium and alloy and plastic. Looked fantastic and made it for all those years that it was in production, and then stopped, and we have no new Jag. So in some ways, that car's become an instant classic. Yeah. Because it's the end of...
Well, especially with what's going on with Jag now. I see their head guys just throwing his hat in, or whatever you call it. He's called it quits. Driven the company, the brand into the ground just about, and departed.
The problem with Jaguar is that it did have a fairly stifled audience of customers, because they're quite expensive, relatively new. I mean, I bought mine second hand, so I get the car at low kilometres, almost like new, for a third of the price it was originally. So therein lies the difference. But those F-Type Jags are a bit of a sleeper, and I think people are quite quickly realising they're quite a good car for what you get. The V6 supercharged or the V8 supercharged, both fantastic engines, so nothing wrong with the engineering.
No.
They look great and they're nice to drive. The steering is particularly good on the Jaguar. They've got that beautiful balance where you feel like you're sitting on the rear wheels, and when you turn the wheel, the front is moving like a natural...
Guiding the car.
And sometimes that doesn't always happen with some of the newer cars, that you've lost that feel, especially in the corners, which sometimes is what's delightful about a classic, you know, E30 BMW, is that you've got a mechanical steering system which you feel as you're driving. The dynamic is there.
Now some of the modern cars are steer-by-wire as well, so you've literally got there's nothing connecting you to the car. You're just holding a wheel, completely electronic wheel.
The M6 Grand Coupé that we've got, steering's fantastic on that. It's got an electric rack.
The electric assist, wouldn't it? So,
and they seem to have got that bang on, because you still have the feel of a mechanical setup, but it's fully electric.
I think it's the G chassis that they've moved into that they talk about all the steering feeling's gone now. So the F is almost the end of the golden golden days. With
you always have, there's always something lost in terms of that next level of technology, because it can remove some of the enjoyment out of what you're driving. Other people wouldn't necessarily notice that or have that as an issue. But if you're a person who likes classic cars, if you bought a modern car, that's what you're expecting, is some dynamic out of the actual driving of. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. BMW are obviously going to go back to producing petrol engines for their customers. They're saying electrics not the end and be all of you know, the fact that petrol engines are still in demand.
And the efficiency and the emissions of petrol has come such a long way with the pressures that have been put on. They've really sorted a lot of the issues.
Well, even the little diesel 3 Series that we've got, what a fantastic car that is. The engine is smooth.
They're not as agricultural as they used to be.
Incredibly efficient. nice to drive. You know, it's a 3 Series BMW. It's comfortable, and the diesel. You know, it is so efficient.
And they've got torque to boot. You know, it's right there from the get-go. You're
quick to drive. You know, as a modern everydayer.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant.
And it sounds like we're all going to be on the same level with road user charges soon.
Yes,
the government's plans go ahead, so it sounds like they will. So
I can understand that seems a fairer response to, you know, keeping our roads going.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully that's where the money will go.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different subject.
Yeah. And the other thing that's happened for us is owners of older vehicles is that instead of having to do those 6 monthly warrants, we're going just to the 12-month system.
Yeah. Because
for us, it seems to be constantly going backwards and forwards for warrants every 6 months.
They're parked up and there might be an occasional car not getting
usually,
so much,
you know, if I've taken one of the vehicles in for a warrant, they can say, oh, you've done 136 kilometres since the last warrant, you know? And so
30 of those were driving here for the warrant.
Yeah, so you're just going backwards and forwards for warrants in service. But it's for people, you know, especially with the number of vehicles that we've got. It was a bit of a drag to have to do that, you know, especially, you know, the likes of the MG doesn't do a lot of miles and in pristine condition. Bits are not falling off it. You know, it's been well cared for.
There needs to be somebody. I don't know what the logistics of it would be, but there needs to be somebody that can be able to do mobile warrants of fitness, or whatever they call them in different parts of the world. We call them warrants of fitness. But I mean, can you imagine that would be a brilliant idea? They can come to you and do all your cars. Try and get all lined up at the same time. Big expense at once, I guess, but potentially.
Well, the problem I have sometimes is that all of the warrants fall due at the same time. So you've got four or five vehicles, and suddenly they don't have a warrant, so you can't register them. So you've got to get the warrant before you can do that to keep them roadworthy. And so yes, it's every day. When you've got so many vehicles,
there's a big family.
There's something to do with the vehicle. Mostly washing them at this time of the year because the pollen is so bad.
I know.
You wash the car one day and the next you come out and look at it and it's yellow. So
we talked about the potential of recommissioning one of your Rovers. That is in pretty good or very good order, but just hasn't been basically started for a long time. And we've got a mate, Owen, who's keen. I asked him if he was interested in coming and have a look today, but he was busy. But that's short notice. But he's keen. He's a mechanic, pretty clever guy. Built a beautiful performance engine in his 5 Series BMW. But actually, there's a video that I've done of that. I'll put the link down below. So he's quite keen on jumping in. We're all just doing this for the love of it, but and
it'd be an interesting thing
getting it fired up maybe
to actually video that process. And even commissioning the Jensen for the road.
So I was going to say, I wonder if we had to choose which would we. I wonder if we would fire up the Jensen. Might have more.
We just like a lot of vehicles that sit. You have to be careful about petrol in terms of petrol does deteriorate.
The quality of it,
I've now and again dropped in some methylated spirits into the tank, and that just gets rid of the water content, which can settle into it. And the only other issue with the Jensen is that it does have a bit of a petrol leak underneath the engine. And so last time I drove it out for a photo shoot for a magazine, it left a lovely big burnt patch on the lawn. But it would be easy enough to commission. And
so it'd be nice to hear that fired up. And you wouldn't have heard it running for a while.
No, so, it's 2018 since it's been on the road per se in terms of registration. But registration on the Rover, the Jensen, and the Coupé are all on hold.
Okay.
Basically, because you're not using them. You know, there's no point in.
But if you got as far as that running goes, if the engine was running, is everything else like brakes and everything?
Yeah,
You know? So
no
if you were
problems.
to sort of like have a sneaky drive up the road and back.
Oh, you
if
can
it
do.
was running,
you can do that. I drove it out for the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Which was a year ago, and we drove it onto the concrete.
Yeah.
Basically, just the concern of fuel, and of course the danger of fire, because it's quite a big engine, gets very hot.
Yeah.
And so we had fire extinguishers at the ready, just in case.
Yeah, we'll get on if it all happens. If
and have a look at where the petrol's. It must be a fairly simple. Petrol line connection that's either fractured or leaking.
Yeah, and could just be a line that needs replacing or something. But we could have a look at that on the day. But
it's when I bought the car, the previous owner had replaced the sills, which are a bit of a weak point on these cars. So very strong in the body.
Yeah. I'll grab my camera and. We'll have a walk around the Jensen, because a couple of things amazed me. Well, a lot of things amazed me with it, but once again, as far as the engineering side of things goes, like we know on our modern cars, and it doesn't matter what quality they are, but on our modern cars, these are all plastic, whereas this.
These are cast alloy on the Jensen.
Yeah.
Even this is all cast. Likewise, the side vents, cast alloy.
Yeah.
So at great expense, those have been cast in alloy.
But you'll never have to replace them.
No.
And they won't. Like our plastic ones, they all fade. You have to, rejuvenate them somehow. Even on late model cars, all the plastic goes grey, and this looks brand new.
Because they were hand built, the Jensens, they used different parts, and they came up with the idea of having the insert for the side repeater, which had been separate at one stage, putting it in here. And unfortunately for me, they chose to do it with a Maserati part. So that's off a Maserati. So when it came time to replace those, because they'd faded, they were very expensive. But they work perfectly as a look. And so...
See, now if you keep cross-referencing that part, you'd probably find it's probably on a Ford Focus or something.
Well, I mean, the other thing that's happened is that, you've got differences inside. Each car is slightly different because they've gone to the parts bin in the factory and thought, oh, well, we'll use these switches or we'll use that toggle, whatever.
Yeah.
The pressing, you always know that it's a genuine pressing, original pressing for the bonnet, because these two lines are different.
Oh, right.
That one's slightly longer than that one. So this is an original bonnet. Because usually what happens is that with replacement bonnets, the panel beaters think, oh, that line doesn't quite fit, so they actually extend it. And that's wrong. They've got to be different.
Because it's unique to that car as well, probably.
This car has the burgundy badges. Special versions, like the six-pack engine, have a blue badge. And of course, there's the wonderful FF version, which is the Ferguson formula. And that the immediate way of telling that it's a four-wheel drive is that there's two of the vents on this panel, and the whole car's 4 inches longer with a square front on it here. This doesn't curve back on the FFs. Basically, I think because there's a lot more going on in the front with the four-wheel drive system.
So that's Ferguson, as in Ferguson tractors as well, isn't it?
Yes, it's Ferguson formula is the name of the system. And I think it's also the name of the designer, the Ferguson.
Yeah, I guess it's connected. It's quite amazing in the tractor world. Lamborghini, Ferrari, David Brown, which a lot of people don't realise is the DB in Aston Martin. It's
all a connection.
All connected from going back to when what they were first making was tractors.
Of course, this has quite a big engine.
So yeah, it would definitely be cool to see the old girl fired back up again.
The Chryslers were of different cubic inch ratings when they were produced from 1966 to 1976. This being what they call the J series, hence the large badge on the quarter panel, which people think stands for Jensen, but is actually J for the J series engine for the Chrysler 440.
Yeah.
So this is the biggest iteration of engine that they used, but it's a low compression engine.
Right. Yeah.
So you can run on, low octane fuel. We've had these replaced. The door handles were originally just muck metal, which becomes very pitted and looks pretty ugly.
Yeah.
And Jensen Motors New Zealand produced these, again cast and then polished. So a beautiful detail of that cast. And it's kind of an Art Deco style almost, because you've got that elegance in terms of the linear shape.
Yeah. Once again, design. I mean,
design.
There was probably...
And there's a tiny curvature here, which when you put your thumb into, there's just something quite incredibly beautiful about the design.
Yeah.
And it's just a lift up. Yeah. Probably coming back to the fact that they were designed in Italy originally by Touring.
But like you say, that word design just keeps coming back into it. And there was probably someone whose job it was to design the door handle.
Yeah. And I've always wondered how somebody could come up with an incredibly pointed end on this window frame to give that, again, just incredibly dynamic shape. Yeah. I mean, no car would have that pointed, mitered sort of look anymore. Yeah, and
it just adds to the whole dynamics of the car. That whole speed, kind of, if you know what I mean.
Jensens were expensive when they were new. They were twice the price of an E-Type Jag at the time.
Yeah.
But, all of this door panel is leather, right up to the top here, all hand-stitched. And then the seats are designed by Carman, as in Carman Gear.
Yeah.
And so they're unique to the Jensen. And all these panels are removable. They actually work on Velcro.
Oh, nice.
So they lift out.
Gosh, that's incredible.
So that panel and that panel, it all lifts out. Yeah. So quite a unique sort of design.
Yeah.
And it's got the optional, because these come off, they're all Velcroed on. That's how they came from the factory.
Wow.
The extra bolster for the headrest.
Yeah. And oh man, back to the days when they actually had buttons and dials and
a lot going on that dashboard.
Yeah.
But the big one you want to keep an eye on, of course, is the fuel gauge and the oil pressure.
Oh yeah.
Because the fuel gauge goes down quite quickly at speed.
Yeah.
It likes to drink fuel.
Say 2 litres.
7.2, yeah.
Oops. Fasten seatbelts.
Well, again, for this type of vehicle and the vintage, seatbelts weren't, always an option.
Right.
And these have come with, those built-in aspects to it.
Yeah.
And the little holder on the roof, so when you get in, it's right there.
Yeah.
It's just, it's way ahead of its time in some of those aspects. Even the mechanism on the side of the seat, the lever and the turn for the, a lot of engineering has gone into that particular part on the vehicle.
Yeah.
And it's glamorous, it looks stylish.
Yeah. Oh, incredible car.
These open, of course, they're just a push out, but the Interceptor's party piece is its big glass rear hatch.
Yeah.
which, you know, it's pretty phenomenal. Again, and a piece of engineering with those latches, which are just 2 bars with a stop on them.
Yep, no gas struts required or anything like that.
And then when you do want to close it, you can just break that and it'll drop on its own and
just
close.
Perfectly balanced, yeah. Incredible.
So, again, design.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, I think that's what always appealed about the Jensen for me, is that, you know, dramatic back end on them.
Yep.
And when we lived on our farm at Huntly, one of our neighbours, Pam Commons, she and her husband had bought one, and Pam used to drive that car, you know, at 100 miles an hour everywhere she went, and I thought, one day I've got to have one of those. You could just see how, you know, fantastic a vehicle they were to drive.
Yeah.
The alloys are unique to this car, but they're still available, manufactured in America.
All right, still making
Yeah. At great expense, because again, they're a beautifully engineered alloy. Some people colour the centres for the body.
Oh, okay.
And that was done at the factory if you chose to do that. This car's just had a sort of a charcoal grey finish, which I actually quite like because it sort of adds to the fact that you've got the vinyl roof, which is a bit of a period aspect to the vehicle. And those great big drain pipes of exhaust. Yeah. I mean, they're ginormous, those things. Hence the black marks on the the board.
We'll see if we can add to those.
Very hard to get the some of the parts. These have been remanufactured, but at great expense again. So you know, all of those details on the vehicle parts are available, but at a price because you know, they're rare. We're a bit lucky to have Jensen Motors New Zealand, who, you know, stock a lot of the parts, a lot of the panels, and supply, you know, owners here. Yeah. And a lot of owners. I think there's 200 Interceptors in Australia, so there's a market there for parts from those guys. Yeah, and it's good that the more they go up in value, the more determined people will be to look after them, keep them on the road, so the demand will I have had
remain,
inquiries from people in Australia wanting to buy this car because they know about the car.
They know what you've got.
Because every Jensen is accounted for in terms of whether they exist or not. Yeah. Richard Claver was the guy that did all the history of the builds on them, and so I asked if this car came originally from the factory in this claret red, and it's all original because the build sheet from the factory shows all that detail. And of the 6,000 that were built, there's about 3,000 left on the road.
Gosh.
Half of them obviously have either been crashed or have rusted away. So 3,000 vehicles, still not a lot of vehicles worldwide.
No, not worldwide.
So the Rover's, called a P6B, which is its designation for the model. So the B standing for Buick, because it has the Rover V8, but Rover took the Buick V8, which was a cast iron engine, and did it in alloy, so that it had a bit of likeness to it.
Yeah, with the big old American cars, it wouldn't have mattered so much. But
so it changed what essentially was a 2-litre 4-cylinder car into quite a dynamic motor car with a V8. Yeah. And I've had this car a long time, since the 80s. Yeah. And was, as I mentioned before, the first car that I ever bought with my own money. My very first car was a Mark I Cortina in baby blue, which I would dearly love to still have, but was written off in a head-on.
So this was your second car?
Yes.
And it was, like you said, wasn't that old when you...
No, well, it had been completely restored when I bought it.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I knew the car was of a quality.
Yeah.
And it has a value now, which for a long time they sort of lost their value.
Yeah.
But because this is a bit of a survivor.
Yeah.
It got beautiful engineering on it. I mean, the doors, again, the hinges and so forth were just so beautifully engineered.
Yeah.
And you can actually leave the door to close itself because the hinges are so beautifully done.
Yeah, yeah. You can do that.
And even the detail. I mean, these were generic sort of British Leyland things, but beautifully engineered.
Yeah, chromed and everything.
You don't get that on a vehicle of any kind today. Plastic, fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And supremely comfortable with the leather, Connolly leather.
Yeah.
This one's got the sports headrest. You could option for what's commonly known as the ET headrest, and it has got the ET headrest in the rear.
So that's ET as in
the
ET.
movie,
Yeah,
because they've got a big head shape to them.
Yep.
So you can see how that headrest, it goes right back into the parcel shelf.
Yeah.
So that could also be fitted to the front.
Oh, okay.
And was on a Watts linkage, so when you push the button, it would move backwards and forwards.
Oh, okay.
All on a linkage, which was incredible.
Door wants to close.
Yeah. These cars are all built on a base chassis.
Yep.
So there's a frame, a bit like a Citroen,
Yep.
which means you could drive the car without any panels on it.
Right.
So all of these panels just unbolt, the roof unbolts, everything comes off.
Yeah. Great for restoration. And that sort of thing.
But also great for deception when selling a vehicle, because a lot of the cars, you'd have beautiful panels, but if they were rusty as a base unit, you were in trouble.
Right.
But the previous owner, whose name coincidentally is very English, like the car, Charles England was his name. He spent the time and effort putting this back together and went to the extent of improving the vinyl, which was pretty thin on the original cars, with this nice textured panel. So it still looks original, but just adds to the quality of the original car. And even, all these rubber components are in incredibly good condition. Admittedly, the car's always been garaged, which helps.
It does help, yeah.
Yep.
But modern rubbers have a habit of just deteriorating by themselves,
And the fact that you've got stainless steel frames for the windows, I mean, all of that is a piece of engineering in itself.
Yeah, incredible.
You could get a manual version of these, which was called an S-Type.
Yeah.
They'd be pretty special these days, because not many made of those.
Yeah.
But the Borg Ward 3-speed automatic, pretty smooth.
Be a lovely cruiser. When was the last time this was sort of on the road? And
20 years.
Yeah.
Because we moved here 25 years ago, and we built this garage basically because the Rolls-Royce arrived, and we couldn't fit the Rolls-Royce into anything we had.
Yeah.
Another little detail on this car is this badge comes off.
Oh, yeah.
For the touring option, so the spare wheel can be mounted onto the boot.
Yeah.
Quite an expensive option.
Yeah.
And quite rare now.
Yeah, would there be once again a bit of engineering involved in that to take the load? And
because the bonnet and the boot lid are alloy, it had to have a strut fitted inside the frame.
Oh, yeah.
So often people decided, and it has happened here in New Zealand, they've gone and bought the parts for here and put the spare wheel on and lifted it up.
Yeah.
and it bent.
You forgot about the engineering part of it.
And it bends the alloy.
Yeah.
Because it's got to have the frame. It's a crisscross frame inside.
Yeah, to support the weight. So that's the Rover. We have sort of gone over your cars before, but there's probably people watching this that haven't.
This is a Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit. It's one of only 3 sold new in New Zealand that year of 1987, I think it was, and last of the carburetted cars.
Ah, yeah.
I saw this car new in the showroom all those years ago for $330,000.
Yeah.
And then to buy it all the years later, I can't remember how long we've had this, but it's probably 12, 15 years for 1/10 of the price of the original.
Yeah, quite believe it.
And it's still in fantastic condition. It's done 100,000 odd miles now, so you know it's used.
Yeah.
But you know it's just such a strong car. It was always going to be a fantastic vehicle.
You guys have done quite a few road trips in this.
Yes, we do like to use it as a bit of a weapon to go to the South Island in, which is great fun.
Yeah.
And that's a good trip for it.
Yeah.
When we bought the car, it had been sitting in a collection at Waihi. Ken Hogg had a big collection of motor cars which were sold, and I think he had 3 of the Rolls-Royces in his collection, and none of them sold at the auction. So we negotiated after the fact in terms of buying it, and it was probably one of the best cars in the collection. He did have a lovely Lamborghini, I think it was a Urraco, in sort of a lurid purpley mauve colour, which I would have adored to have, but it went for big money because it was such an unusual car. But because it had been sitting in the collection, the rear suspension, which is Citroen licensed, had frozen solid. The spheres, which work with oil, meant that the ride was like this. Yeah. So straight away we had those replaced, and the timber veneers on the rear doors were quite damaged because somebody had caught the edge of the veneers and they were broken off.
Right.
Luckily, Colin Gray in Auckland, who specialises in Rolls-Royce and Bentley, he was able to dismantle it all and send it to a specialist who spent a month putting the inlays back in and then hand colouring them to match.
Yeah.
So they've come up beautifully. And with the modern technology and the clear coats on the timber, it just changes the durability of them.
Yeah.
The dash and the picnic tables all book matched, so and they've got a lion's face on them. If you draw a line through here, you can see the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's not only on that part of the timber, but it's also when you close it, you see exactly the same on the other side. So pretty clever. Yeah. So book matched on both sides, front and rear.
Yeah.
Again, a piece of engineering, you know, all of that articulation. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
And it's the leather quality in here, which is it's just so soft.
Yeah.
People get in and they think, wow, you know, you just can't stop rubbing it because you realise the quality of the leather is so fantastic.
And like say everything's, was it like triple chromed or something?
Yes, they hand polish all of these items. So when you pull the organ switches on the front dash, you know, for the airflow, you can just feel the quality of the chrome. It's just fantastic. Even the chrome on that door handle, you know, it's just, the quality is just fantastic. So these little organ switches, which are still in the modern Rolls-Royce, you know, it's just that lovely mechanism.
Yeah.
And when you touch them, you realise that somebody's hand finished that at the factory, and then it's been triple chromed.
Yeah, like I say, with the handles on the door handles on the Jensen, there would be somebody whose job it was. That would have been their job.
Yeah.
You know, not like 90% of the car, but just a specific part.
And it's quite, it's even the indicator stalk, it's very delicate, but beautifully engineered, it's just what's necessary to do the job.
And it's still like that after all this time
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
It's not like it's full.
I mean, the chrome on just that piece of detail there on other cars would rust away.
Yeah.
But because it's triple chromed in here, it's as good as the day it was ever made.
See if I can see that diff that you're talking about. It might be too far.
See there?
The diff that you were talking about, the differential. That was
right,
beautifully engineered. No, I can't remember.
No, it's a long way underneath there.
It's halfway down the car.
Yes. Well, I think that's why when they put it on the hoist, they're looking at the underneath of the vehicle, and a mechanic or an engineer is just as impressed with the underneath as they are with the top of the car.
Yeah.
I always am amused by the little magnet. There's a magnet which holds the badge, so that flicks up if you're using the key. It does have a remote system, but beautiful, the chrome detail under here, when you touch it, you realise, beautiful design, and the quality of that chrome is just incredible in here because you can feel it.
Yeah.
And that chrome there, even, it's like the detail is just incredible.
And they know if it's a tactile sort of object.
Yeah.
Go to the extra.
They come from the factory with an isolating switch, which is a great idea. So it means that if you're not using the vehicle all the time, you can switch that off.
Oh, yeah.
And it just means that, when you come out to the garage, you turn your switch and you've got a nice live battery. Because oftentimes with modern cars, you're having to, you can't isolate the battery, you have to trickle charge them.
You've got to keep your key a certain distance away from your car so it doesn't wake up and all that sort of thing.
All those chrome details and the lights and so forth, again, incredible quality, which was why you were paying $330,000 New Zealand new.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, today would probably equate to $700,000 or $800,000, that price tag when they were new. But I marvelled in the showroom, because it was at Giltraps, at how big the wheels were, and they're still pretty enormous, as far as tyres go.
Yeah. Overall.
We fitted new tyres when we bought the car because the previous owner, Ken, had had the car sitting for so long that they'd become brittle. And a big square patch on the bottom, not nice to drive.
No.
And the Coupé tyres with the white wall just seem to suit it brilliantly.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But it's quality and engineering, which is just so nice in this vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what they're about, isn't it? Luxury.
And the famous radiator with the Spirit of Ecstasy. I mean, young kids know exactly what it is when they see that.
Definitely.
And they get it. People understand you're driving something which is a bit special.
Yeah.
So you don't get any sort of bad reaction from people. They enjoy seeing the car and they love it.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, even if you're driving on the road, you can see people or passengers and vehicles pointing and say, "That's a Rolls-Royce."
Yeah.
So they get quite excited to see it on the road.
Even if you're not particularly a big fan, you still look.
They know.
Appreciate.
They know what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Or they know what it's all about. More sometimes they don't know what it is.
Yeah. Shall we? It's probably a bit covered up maybe this time.
I can lift the cover on the Coupé.
Yeah. Maybe we could just see that way. Just see the line, the silhouette of it.
Yeah. I mean, this car is like the Grand Coupé BMW, a low roof line compared to the saloon.
Yeah.
So this rakes down, and the whole windscreen is raked as well.
Yeah.
So quite a big slope on that rear.
Yeah.
And these cars were incredibly expensive new. So, you know, you were buying a lot of leather.
Yeah.
The interior needs some attention, but it's all there.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually what happens is that the leather stays intact, but the stitching goes, which is exactly what's happened here.
Rots.
The stitching's weak.
Yeah. But that's at least that's something that somebody can, without having to replace upholstery, they can fix.
Those are the ET headrests that I was talking about.
Oh, right, okay.
So they're quite a, and they've got a button on them somewhere. Oh, it's on the side. So you press in the button and they go backwards and forwards on a Watts linkage.
Oh, okay.
So the linkage is you know, they're parallelograms with links top and bottom, and they go backwards and forwards like that. So.
Oh, yeah, you can see where the name.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So Watts linkage, you can have it as a rear suspension system, a Watts linkage, and they've used the same system inside the headrest.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But there's no rust in this car. This is all incredibly solid.
Yeah.
A lot of cars with this double skin design, they get moisture between the two layers, and this just completely rots out.
Yeah, like you say, to fix it is
and
problematic because you've got
hugely expensive.
twice the problem. The problem's more than what you can just see.
And these, like the P6, alloy, as opposed to the saloon, the coupes have got the alloy frame for the windows.
Yeah.
So that's quite special.
Yeah.
And the thing is that this car is younger than that car.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they were making them side by side at the factory.
Yeah.
So you could go in and order your P5B saloon or coupe,
Yeah.
or your P6B. And of course the thing is that once we got, I think it's 73 is the last of those. But in 1971, both cars were being produced. This is their large vehicle, limousine car, and that was their compact. So. But in the end, of course, that car took over because the sales dropped off dramatically because I think the price difference was so huge.
Yeah.
The chrome rostyles on these are pretty special, so that it's that period piece. But they're all intact. Again, a lot of those rostyle wheels have rotted away.
Yeah.
Because they're just chromed steel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They look pretty. They look pretty.
So they're in tip-top condition. Really, I mean, the mere fact that it's been garaged has kept the car in good condition.
And it's good because it means if someone wants to have it running and driving again, it's in original condition. It's not restored. Do you know what I mean?
There's lots of. I bought another coupe, which was a write-off, and took all the panels. So I've got all of the those panels from that car. Plus, I've got brand new panels for that car if need be too. So it was just a matter of having those extra spares, doors, windscreens, because the frames are the same, but not as the same as the saloon. Quite a different. From the waistline upwards is a completely different car because of the coupe styling.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And this car's actually called a black badge because so it's on here. But it was only for 1 year. All of those previous and afterwards. So 1971, you get this black anodized badge. And it was normally just silver. So for some reason, for 1 year, they decided to say, let's anodize it black.
That makes it a bit special.
And it makes it quite cool.
Yeah. The Black Badge Edition.
Yes, Black Edition. Yeah.
Black Edition. And then obviously we've got the MG.
MG,
the V8.
Rover V8. It's a 4 litre fuel injected.
Amazing to pack a V8 into there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a big space.
No. And there's, we think there's 50 odd in New Zealand of the 2,000 that they made. So it's quite a few. Very rare to get it in the Oxford blue. They only did small numbers of other colours. The majority out of the 2,000 that were built, 1,500 were woodcock green. So you normally see green, if you see them at all, of course. And then when this car arrived, it had damage to the soft top. So we imported the blue soft top to match the body, just to give it a point of difference. And also we did all of the lenses in the clear, because these were orange. And they're off a Mini.
All right.
They're off the original classic Mini,
yep.
the last of. And likewise at the front we did clear lenses for the repeaters, just to give it that little bit of a modern upgrade.
Yeah, with the orange bulbs.
But quite luxurious inside. Again, Connolly leather, all padded, you know, and this is all leather. They were 70... I think they were about 76,000 New Zealand dollars when new, so they weren't cheap.
This would be a fun car, manual too.
Yeah, and we shipped this in from Japan, of course, so that, because Japan is where most of them ended up. MG had a green, woodcock green version on show at the Tokyo car show. And which is why 1,500 of them were produced green, because Japanese people are very visual. And when they saw the green car, that's what they ordered. So to get a colour is quite unusual.
And colours mean different things in their culture. Not sure what green means, but
out of the small number made, there's only one pearl white, and there's only 3 red ones, and you know, so very limited numbers. We think there was about 100 of the blue ones done. This is called Oxford blue, so quite a pretty dark blue, which, you know, shows off that lovely enamelled work on the badging quite nicely. And but it's pretty raw to drive, because it's, you know, it's a roadster. And it's got a big V8.
So this is all running and warranted and everything ready to roll? Well, again, it's, you know, it's quite a well-built vehicle. They're all hand-built, basically, at the factory. They were trying to do them as a restart for the MG brand. And then, of course, it got sold to the Chinese. So this car was made in 1995. So when we're driving it, sometimes people come up when we park and say, you know, what sort of MG is that? Because they've never seen one. Yeah, it is unusual.
And it is a very unusual car.
Because it looks, so this shape, this shape was around in various iterations, was around for a long time, really, wasn't it?
Well, the B series car was, you know, the MGB. It was what it was based on. But this is a hand-formed body. So that's probably when people get no external door handle on here. For the boot. You have a little release inside. So they were thinking about, you know, shape and forms, which because the MGB is such a popular car, and it's reminiscent of that. But, you know, you've just got that extra muscularity.
Yeah, for sure.
With a big bonnet bulge. The only thing carried over from the MGB in the body is that piece, the chrome intake. Which is kind of a nice piece, actually. And the front headlights are off a Porsche 911. So we've actually got spare and boxes up here of those, because they're quite prone, you know, sitting up front. The mag wheels are unique to MGRs, so oftentimes people have fitted, you know, mini lights, you know, to protect the original.
I've seen that.
We haven't gone to that extent, because our roads aren't too bad here.
If you were taking it on lots of rallies and, you know,
you'd
drive tours and stuff.
And the mini lights actually look quite grunty, you know, in terms of a look. It suits the car. But it was, you know, at great expense getting, you know, the top sorted in that blue fabric, which looks kind of pretty with the blue, as opposed to just having a black, which they originally came with. and they have a zip-out rear window, which is kind of funky as well. It just adds to the, that traditional flavour of the whole vehicle.
So you're sort of semi-convertible if you want to be.
Yeah.
Did these ever come out with a hardtop?
They did. The hardtop was really ugly on them.
There's a real bubble, eh?
It was.
Picture it.
It was something to do with the shape here. It just didn't quite look right.
Yeah.
Very, very sought after now because they're so rare.
Yeah.
But they were ugly. And the prettiest combination of the car is when the roof is down, And I think we did have a wind stop at one stage, which we removed. So you can have the wind stop fitted, which sits in here and up behind the seats.
Oh yeah.
So that when you're driving, you haven't got a whole lot of hair,
I know what you
interference with your hair.
Yeah.
And then it has, once the top's down, it has this tonneau cover, so that clips over the soft top.
Oh, okay.
So that this is all hidden.
Yeah.
With the tonneau.
Yeah. Did they come out with the driver's only cover? Do you know what I mean? So the only thing that's exposed when it's you could fit that retrospectively because you have they have the domes, and they do have domes on here. I don't know if there's any advantage in that. I suppose.
And presumably some people have done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, it's a bit of a traditional look.
Yeah. Well, that could be a good segue to your other convertible that you've got, I reckon. Because, as far as convertibles,
well, the E46
cabriolet.
It's probably pretty much a classic modern.
Yeah. And as far as cabriolets or convertibles or whatever you want to call it that came out with a hard top, these did actually look particularly good.
Yeah.
With a hard top as well.
I'm looking for a hard top.
Yeah. I mean, they look good with soft top or.
The hard top creates another look for the body because what happens with the hard top is that it sits here, which emphasises the step down over the body edge, as opposed to a coupe. So it gives quite a a staunch look to it. Timing chain, tensioner, bearing.
Right.
So something quite simple, really.
So that was the bearing that was making the noise as opposed to the actual chain. Yeah.
Because I was worried that there was, other major work maybe required, but our local garage that we take it to, Sherson's, they said it'll never wear out, that engine, because it's just so well built.
Yeah. And people love working on them. On E46s. It's uncomplicated.
So by buying this, Richard was prompted to buy the MG because then we both had a convertible.
Yeah, that makes
sense. And because he's not a fan of the BMW convertible. Again, it's personal taste, isn't it? He loves the roadster style of the MG.
Yeah. So
but it's quite handy that, it's a four-seater, the cabriolet, so there's tons of room.
Yes.
Not that there's anybody ever in the back.
Good option.
Yeah.
And it's basically just the same layout as any E46 with the seating arrangements.
Yeah, I think it's just some of the quality build on it again, because they were incredibly expensive new. This car was apparently $150,000 new.
Yeah.
It's because it's a New Zealand new car.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, every bit of it is so solid. Looking a bit grubby in the footwell there, but we'll give it a clean for the event coming up.
Yeah. So the event that we've talked about is at East Auckland BMW on the 24th of August. So they're hosting. It's hosted in conjunction with the BMW Car Club of New Zealand, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a worldwide event. That,
so this is our local kind of.
Yeah, so the celebrations will happen, in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And the local BMW Car Club is going to have a couple of events. First one's based in Auckland.
Yeah.
The detail of that fit on here is just brilliant too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, before I bought the car, somebody had something leaning up in their garage, and it fell against here and damaged the surface.
That would just about polish out, probably. Someone who knew what they're doing. There's some good glass
It's good, just
polishes. Bit of cerium oxide.
yes.
It's pretty aggressive, that stuff, but it works. And then, so this was your first...
The first one I bought as a BMW model of my own, because we've had lots of other BMWs.
Yep. And
this is the newest acquisition, which of course is the Grand Coupé M6.
It's a beautiful car.
And it's rare because they didn't do a lot of the M6s.
Yeah.
And especially rare in this colour, Shakira orange, with the matching interior. So that Shakira orange interior is pretty special.
Yeah. I think it just ticks every box, this car.
And it's a nice driving car because it's so powerful. It's nearly 600 horsepower, being a competition.
Yeah. And it's luxury as well.
Yep.
And somebody's gone to the
a Krapovic exhaust, which another option.
Yeah. Well, it just makes the most of the sound that it can make, doesn't it? So why not?
Well, I mean, the cold start is pretty spectacular. Pretty powerful. It just makes the driving of a bit more dramatic when you put your foot down.
Oh, definitely. It's all about the drama.
Yeah. And it's got a thumping great big V8 4.4 with the twin turbo. Unusually, this car has been fitted with the self-coloured grills around, which I kind of like because it seems to emphasise the verticals here.
Yeah.
And just as a point of difference, because they're either black or chrome.
Yeah, and it keeps the beefiness or whatever, muscularity of the bonnet.
Yeah. Well, the new Skytop cars, if you look at it, this grille's very similar.
Yeah.
In terms of the actual concept.
Yeah.
A lot of engineering going on under here.
Yeah.
And so it's special in terms of that beautiful engine, which is the S63. And it's been chipped, the car, so normally they're, I think, 550 horsepower, and this one's nearly 600.
Yeah,
so
just enough.
It's enough.
Yep.
And it's just, it's easy enough to drive, because you sometimes think with such a lot of horsepower that maybe it would be, a bit too uncontrollable. And
being an M car, you've got all your different modes that you can put it in depending on what mood you're in.
Fantastic tyres and wheel combination, and the huge brakes, those rotors and the Brembros are just incredible.
I really like these wheels. I think they work perfectly, like in every way for this car.
Yeah, they're like a twin spoke.
Yeah.
They've had a bit of damage done to the surface, so they're a bit vulnerable.
Yeah.
But that's easy enough repaired.
For sure.
And I quite like that sort of matte mid-grey that they've used as, again, a point of difference.
There's an outfit, and I don't know what coating that is on there, but there's an outfit in Tauranga that does Cerakoting.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
they would probably match that. And I think Cerakoting's really, really tough.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, we've Stuart rattle canned the wheels on the E39.
Yeah.
And you know, because you're not driving it all the time, once you've painted it and you look after it, it's only that previous owners have probably scuffed the wheels against stuff,
wheels,
you know.
Wheels take a hiding.
But they are quite a dramatic, you know, offset.
Yeah.
Big fat wheels at the back.
Yeah.
I put brand new tyres on it as soon as I got it because the car had been sitting for quite a long time.
You've got the best on there too.
And they were brittle.
Michelin 4S. So these are 305s on the back. So yeah, you got a bit of...
But those Michelin Pilot Sport, you know, they're hard to beat as far as comfort and,
handling.
you know, handling, all of the drivability of them.
Yeah,
So,
they're the perfect tyre, I think.
and of course, being an M6 is a full carbon roof, which adds to the lightness, or takes away from the heaviness, whichever way you look at it. It's just a really cool car to drive.
Absolute keeper, this one.
Sorry?
Absolute keeper, this one.
Yes, because it's so rare. And I've now started taking the car to Coombs Johnson, the dealership here in Tauranga, because I want a history with the dealership being an M car. Because if you ever did sell it, the first thing that people want to know is what's the history of the vehicle, because it is a special car. And Coombs did say when I took it in last time, because it had a recall for the airbag, that it's the only Grand Coupe that they've got on their books that's an M6. They've got other Grand Coupes, but not M6s. It's got the heritage badges on the... I actually do have the heritage badge for the rear as well, and I thought it was appropriate to fit those heritage badges eventually, because it's a special version.
Oh, for sure. Deservedly. So we could quickly look. We won't carry the video on too much longer, but we could...
The E39.
Quickly look at the 39.
This, of course, is a restored car, which I've only had a short time, really, but it is a beautiful car, because it's, again, you know, engineering-wise, a lot of people, even design-wise, think that the E39 is the ultimate sleeper in terms of a BMW vehicle.
Sort of the last of the best in a lot of people's eyes, isn't it? But we did cover this quite well in another video, so if you wanted to have a look at that, and it's one that's been meticulously...
The only thing I've done to it is I did colour the grille black. I didn't like the chrome grille so much. I just wanted to tone it down yet again. But it is a sleeper, this car, because it looks pretty standard, but it's got the M front on it, M5 mirrors, and of course the interiors had the M, not the full M, but it's got extended leather on the door cards, and brand new steering wheel.
Stuart loves his steering
$900 worth later. But it was just when you get in it and you think, oh wow, that's so nice.
Way to go.
The detail, you know, that Stuart, the previous owner, had restored it, spent on the vehicle in terms of, you know, getting everything right. Even down to fitting the original stereo system with a blue bus system in the boot, so it's very discreet, but it's got that lovely connectivity when you get in with your
even
modern
when you
phone.
wheel arch liners on it, didn't they?
It's just everything, all rubber components, you know, new, all those inner arch protectors are all brand spanking new. And these are the rattle canned wheels, but they've come up really well, and I've still got the rattle can that Stuart gave me, so if you do need to do a touch-up. But because you're actually caring for the tyres, you know, other people don't have that same attention to detail in terms of looking after a vehicle sometimes. Quite a rare colour, the Biarritz blue. Very few in New Zealand painted that colour, because it was an individual colour. So you had to order it from the factory.
We can have a quick look at the 840.
Oh yes,
That's
yeah.
on heading out the gate.
Too many cars, not enough video. Well, I'd always loved the 840 shape, or the 850s for that matter, which is the V12.
Yeah.
This is the V8, which is the 840. I spent a year looking and discounted a lot of the cars that I'd found because they were just too rough. And this car was pristine and at the right price. And it was a motorsport individual, so it's gone from the factory to the motorsport division, and they've lowered it, and they've fitted the body kit.
Yeah.
These motorsport mirrors, which are different from the standard.
Yeah.
Quite a different car up front with the front air intake.
Yeah.
Being a motorsport. I never liked the original front on these because it was too thin.
Yeah.
Whereas what they've done is they've actually added this depth here.
Yeah. Balances the whole car out.
Just to give that really aggressive little,
yeah,
you know, bit of bulk at the back.
Even the back, same thing.
Yes, it's got a splitter
and a step
through the middle.
Yeah.
There's a step down.
Yeah. And
so it just makes it look pretty with the quads.
Well, it balances it out.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed with sort of cars from this era is they'd quite often beef up the front and make them, you know, put a splitter and everything in the front, but the back
not
way back
too high.
Off the ground. Yeah.
Well, this car, because it's lowered at the factory,
yeah,
and with that splitter, and then it's got these inserts, which a lot of cars are missing.
Right.
Is the little reflector,
yeah,
and what that does is balance up the shape, you know, in terms of.
Yep.
So it's in the detail.
Functional as well as.
Has the rear curtain, which.
Yep.
It's quite nice.
Dust that you're seeing on the cars, it's the pollen that we talked about earlier. It's wash your car and you walk back out to it half an hour later and it's...
And then of course the first owner had optioned at the factory to have the two-tone.
Yeah.
So blue cards, blue inserts, blue carpets.
Yeah.
Which would have made it well over a $200,000 motor car.
Yeah.
With those options.
Yeah.
And it drives brilliantly. The V8 is powerful, smooth. Just recently had all the front suspension redone with shocks and new rubber components for the the bits that were of a vintage. A new engine mounts because they were deteriorating.
Yeah.
One had split completely. So.
Yeah.
And it's pretty heavy car because it's got that big V8.
Yeah.
And it just makes it nice when on the turn in, you know, as long as the steering's doing its job and the engine stays put because it's not moving on the engine mount, it has a different dynamic to it.
Yeah.
And
something I asked Stuart, and Stuart's talking about Stuart Glass, who if you're in the BMW world in New Zealand, you'll know Stuart. He did the restoration on the 540, the E39. But I asked Stuart, I did a video with him, and he's got a few BMWs. If he had to keep one, and he had to get rid of everything else, what would the one be? So what do you think, Bruce, with the cars that you've got?
He would have said the E39.
I can't remember what he said actually.
Because he's got an M5, a genuine M5 E39.
It might have been the M5.
Yeah.
But what about you? Stuart said, here we go.
It's a tough one. This would have to be right at the top of the list in terms of a keeper.
Yeah.
So rare. We think it's the only one in New Zealand that's a motorsport individual 840 in this configuration.
Yeah.
There's other ones in the same colour. I think there's two other ones that I know of, but they're not motorsport individuals. So it's just a really top-notch car.
Yeah.
And it's Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah.
I didn't pay a lot of money to buy this car because the guy that I bought it from, Carl Martin,
Yeah.
he was very pedantic with it, and he realised that, you know, it had to go to somebody that knew about the vehicles.
Yeah.
And the only thing that he was trying to do, he was trying to get me to pay separately for the personalised plate.
Right.
The GT840.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not a 0, it's an O.
Yeah.
And all the other inquiries when it was for sale on Trade Me were for the plate, not the car. So he knew that the people weren't interested in the car necessarily.
Yeah.
They didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But in the end, I paid Carl the asking price as long as he included it with the
Vehicle.
the plates.
Yeah. It's good. It's good that they've
So
started.
it adds to the story of the car because, I mean, I do love the E39 that I bought from Stuart, but I haven't had a long enough history with it because it's only been a recent purchase. But this has been a long journey. You know, if you take a year before you decide to buy something, you know, you've had to look at a lot of vehicles to get to this stage.
Really made sure you chosen the one that you wanted.
Yeah.
Out of what was available, anyway. But
And you kind of know, because when I drove to Auckland to Carl's property, he had it parked on the driveway, and I turned into the driveway and I said, "That's the car." You just know straight away. You know, you've looked for a year and you've found the one that you really want.
love at first sight.
Unusual colour because the Tobago blue, it looks purple, you know, in the sunlight.
Yeah.
It looks quite blue here, but as soon as you get it into the sunlight, because it's a heavy metallic,
Yeah.
so it's just a really cool car, basically.
Yeah. I would kind of probably agree. It'd be pretty hard to choose, but I think for me,
I'm using the M6 on a regular basis, basically because you need to keep the battery sorted on that. And it's incredibly easy to drive.
Yeah.
But when you get in this car and you think, wow, you know, the seat is quite special.
Yeah.
Again, it's the detail, you know.
Yeah.
The interior on the M6 is super special.
Yeah.
But it's a modern car. It should be, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a split between this and the M6.
But I mean, if and back in 1993, when this car was in the showroom, it would have been such an amazing car sitting, you know, waiting for somebody to come in and buy it.
The thing is, they've never not been an amazing car.
Yeah.
I think they're just timeless, you know.
The party trick with this, of course, is the no B pillar.
Yeah. And of course pop-up headlights, which was,
headlights,
you know, was the flavour of the month, wasn't it, with this era? But that.
And they did say, I have been told that at the factory, when they were building these cars, that they went through several lots of glass to make sure that each side was perfect in terms of the match, because, you know, there is slight variation in glass.
Yeah.
And so they went to all of that extra effort.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was an expensive car when it was new, so things had to be perfect. The great thing about the car too is that there's little detail engineering pieces. When you look at the bonnet struts, they've been drilled out. So that's a piece of engineering there.
Wow, yeah.
So this is all drilled, and there's again a bit of a Watts linkage system.
Yeah.
With the double, but you know you just that's a full piece of engineering just on that one piece of the car. Brilliant, really.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And strength of design when it came to, you know, having the cutouts for the pop-ups.
Yeah.
This is the modification that we've just done because this part of the original broke, became brittle.
Yep.
But Brett at Shearson's used an E34 connector, which is too short because it should come right up to here. So he had this piece manufactured, which has O-rings which fit into here, but he was worried that it wasn't original and would upset me, but I think it looks quite pretty. You know, it's a piece of engineering. It's been welded and, you know, and it works.
He's done it sympathetically.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, you could paint it black if you wanted to, but I kind of like the idea that it's not an original part, so you actually show it as being a piece of engineering.
Probably have to get it powder coated or something because it would just
you'd have to,
yeah. No, looks good. If you didn't know, you wouldn't know.
No.
And good luck to anybody who wants to find the original part to replace it anyway. They, you know.
Well, the upshot of this car, of course, is that it's very popular, and they made quite a few of them in total. But parts are getting scarce because it's of a vintage. I mean, the engine's fine, but it's all those plastic components or rubber components even that are slowly wearing out on these cars. Even if they're not being used, they still deteriorate. So that'll be the next thing for another generation of classic car enthusiasts, is that if you take on a car like this, there will be aspects of it which will be difficult to maintain. But you're starting with a good point, you know, of a vehicle which has value, because they've since I bought this car, they've more than doubled in price from what I paid. And good examples, there was a CSI, which is the 6-speed manual V12 version, sold I think about a year ago now, and that went straight overseas because in such demand.
Well, it's good this one's still here. Still got this in New Zealand, so
it's just had its warrant and registration. After having done all of the suspension, because I was really getting to the point where, you know, I'd done other work to it. It's Brembo brakes and pads, but if you've got other rubber components failing, especially when the suspension is, you know, the original shock absorbers. We haven't used original shock absorbers, but the technology and the newer ones, just that much better again.
And they're an easy thing if somebody wanted to go to the extreme of putting the originals on. It's an easy thing to replace, you know.
It's not screaming, oh, I've just had my shock absorbers replaced. You can't see them.
It's a bolt-on part, so it's pretty straightforward. All right. Oh, well, that's awesome, Bruce.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for catching up, and we'll see if we can find a few photos of...
I'll put some together. And
I'll sneak a few photos in here of what we were talking about at the beginning of the video, if you've managed to make it this far and you're listening to this, of sort of, you know, back in the old days, I guess you could say, where things...
Well, it's been, you know, a long process with collecting vehicles, and to have the second and third cars I've ever bought, you know, still in the garage. That's
I think it's unusual for a Kiwi as well.
Because usually you have to sell them to buy a house or run your business or whatever. I've managed to hold on to them. And in the meantime accrue some other interesting vehicles.
Definitely.
So the journey goes on, you know, what's next, we don't know.
You'll be moving into the Neue Klasse era.
Yes. Well, there was one other car that I've always wanted, and that's a Ferrari. The reality is, of course, that they're, you know, expensive to buy, expensive to maintain, and not necessarily that great to drive. But you know, there's a bit of a question mark there for a Ferrari in the collection. I would dearly have loved to have had a Ferrari Daytona, and I saw one at Gary Keith Motors in Hamilton for $21,000 back in the day. And I just bought my first house for $61,000, so it was quite an expensive motor car.
That would be worth a little bit more than that now.
It would. It was a lovely blue like this, with the tan interior, so it really had the right credentials.
Nice.
But at $21,000, it was a bit beyond budget at the time.
Yeah.
But they'd be easily a couple of $1 million today in that condition.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. Oh, well, thanks for your time, Bruce. And
You're welcome.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll put some links below because I have caught up with Bruce a couple of other times. We've sort of focused on different cars, and the next video I think that'll be coming up will be up in Auckland at East Auckland BMW for the 50 years of the 3 Series. So stay tuned for that one, and you should spot the 3 Series Cabriolet that you just saw up there, and lots of other yummy 3 Series, no doubt. So yeah, we'll catch you in another video soon. Bye.